Fiesta has always been affordable and great to drive, but state-of-the-art? It's that too, in this improved take on the 7th generation model. Beneath the smarter styling lies some clever user-friendly technology and cabin features that'll make downsizing into one of these less of a chore. This is how you write a bestseller.
Nothing's really been changed in terms of drive dynamics or engineering with this facelifted Mark 7 Fiesta, but that's because Ford had already introduced updates in those areas as recently as 2020. Assuming you haven't driven a Fiesta since then, you're going to want some answers to the really big questions here. What's the electrified engineering that's been added into this 7th generation model really like? And has it in any way diluted this car's greatest calling card, its energetic drive dynamics? It certainly shouldn't have. Ford's choice of mild hybrid tech rather than the more efficient full hybrid technology that rivals like Renault, Honda and Toyota offer in this segment means that the weight penalty for this technology is as relatively slight as the frugality benefit it delivers. Which will be good news if you're the kind of person who likes their driving. Variations on the Fiesta theme may come and go, but before driving any version of Ford's definitive supermini, there's one thing you almost always tend to know for certain, that it'll be a great steer. With this 7th generation design, the blue oval brand has sought to retain that traditional Fiesta attribute, yet at the same time introduce a standard of ride quality closer to that delivered by arch rivals like Volkswagen's Polo. The feel you'll get from this Fiesta depends quite a lot on the variant of it you choose, and that's because two quite different chassis configurations have been used across the range, with a firmer setup used for the various sporty ST models like this popular ST line variant, and a softer one featuring elsewhere in the range. Without the stiffer setup, this car isn't quite the sharp, eager thing we remember from earlier Fiesta generations, but it can still offer a level of handling joie de vivre that's beyond anything its competitors can manage. That's thanks to sharp electric steering, a stiff, lightweight body, and an effective torque vectoring system that helps you get the grip down in the corners. You'll be wanting to know, though, a little more about the electrified engineering we mentioned earlier. You don't have to have it of the 3-cylinder petrol engines that now exclusively make up the Fiesta range. At the time of this test in summer 2022, 3 non-electrified units remained. A base 75 PS normally aspirated TI VCT power plant, the old 100 PS 1-litre EcoBoost engine, and the ST hot hatch model's 1.5-litre 200 PS powertrain, which now offers 320 Nm of torque, 30 Nm more than before. But these are now minority choices. Almost all Fiestas these days are now sold or leased with the mHEV mild hybrid engine we're trying here, a variation on Ford's usual 1-litre 3-cylinder EcoBoost petrol unit that's now offered only in the 125 PS form we're trying here. Mild hybrid engineering is nothing like as efficient as full hybrid tech, but it doesn't come with a big fat price premium, and it boosts driver feel because it's lighter and it adds a slice of extra pulling power just when you need it. The setup works via a beefed up starter generator driven by a belt at the front of the engine that stores the energy harvested when you brake or decelerate in a tiny 48 volt lithium ion battery secreted at the back of the car, which provides a bit of extra zip when you accelerate. Ford says up to 50 Newton meters of extra torque, and delivers little electric boost from low revs to torque fill while you're waiting for the turbo to spool up. That has a lot to do with this car's fizzy, revvy feel, but it also plays its part in creating efficiency stats improved by a small but important amount over those you'd get from conventionally engined rivals in this class. This 125 PS mHEV Fiesta returns up to 56.5 mpg on the WLTP combined cycle and up to 114 grams per kilometre of WLTP rated CO2. That's in manual form. The 7-speed dual-clutch auto gearbox we've been trying here is also offered with this unit. Ford resisted the temptation to meddle too much with the look of this 7th generation Fiesta when the powertrain lineup was substantially revised back in 2020. With this midterm facelift, though, a smarter, more sophisticated feel has arrived for the styling of European design director Joel Piskowski's original shape. Let's start here at the front, where Fiesta regulars will immediately notice the way this reprofiled bonnet flows into these slimmer headlamps. They have integrated daytime running lights, are now of the full LED variety on all variants, and can be upgraded as here with Matrix technology featuring glare-free high-beam functionality. You might also pick up the fact that the Ford badge has now fallen from the nose to sit in the middle of this now larger, bluffer and more overt grille, the style of which varies according to trim level. Move to the side and the changes made to this facelifted model are a lot more difficult to spot. Perhaps the most significant news is that there's no longer a 3-door body style, which is surprising because previously over 30% of customers chose it. The rear view isn't much different from before either. Ford still limits tail lamp LED tech to plusher models like this one, this better emphasising the distinctive C-shaped signature light pattern. What it all boils down to is that here we've got a facelift that makes a real visual difference. Time to take a look inside. Here at the wheel, you really will find the cabin of this Fiesta very different if you haven't tried one for a few years. What might be familiar, though, is a choice of trim materials reminding you of this car's position at the budget end of Ford's model lineup. Perhaps aware of this, the Blue Oval brand has introduced the 12.3-inch digital instrument screen we first saw in the Puma as part of this facelift update, which gives the front of the cabin a more sophisticated feel. Plus, in recent times, luxury features like a quick, clear front windscreen and velour floor mats have been standardised across the range, and the brand has tried to add a more premium feel to pricier versions. The red-stitched trimming of this plush ST line variant, for instance. This 8-inch Sync centre dash touchscreen is standard across the lineup, and most models get it complete with navigation and the brand's clever Ford Pass Connect built-in modem, which allows for in-car Wi-Fi and remote interaction with your Fiesta via your smartphone. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring is of course included, and all the cabin basics have been well executed. It's easy to find a comfortable driving position, the instruments are clear, and there's plenty of interior storage. Time to take a seat in the rear. Well, really tall folk will certainly need cooperation from those ahead to get truly comfortable in terms of leg space. And most buyers, of course, will merely be carrying small children back here, though even a youngster will only want to travel short distances in the middle of this rear bench as the cushion is quite narrow. Still, both outer seats feature load limiters and pre-tensioners, both features omitted on older generation Fiestas. Even if you're not especially tall, it's easy to bash your head as you exit. But having negotiated that, and before we head back to the boot, we'll pause on the way to mention these automatic door edge protectors. Now, what's it like back here? Well, there's still quite a high sill to heave bigger shopping bags over. And for our market, you can't have an adjustable height boot floor either. Back in 2017, when we first tested this Mark 7 model, we hoped that the lengthier platform would bring this Ford closer to the prevailing supermini standard for luggage capacity, but was somewhat disappointed to find an improvement of only 17 litres. That's still an issue for us. The luggage bay is rated at 292 litres, a figure that most rivals can comfortably improve upon. Still, it'll be enough for a folded pushchair and the contents of the weekly shop, which is all most owners will need. If you're able to flatten the 60-40 split folding rear backrest, you'll find that the revealed cargo floor ends up with quite a step in it. But the total capacity figure looks rather better by segment standards, 1,093 litres. The Ford Fiesta has always been a vehicle the British public has warmed to, but the truth is that in the past, supermini buyers often chose this car either because it was great to drive or because they'd been offered a deal too good to turn down. There wasn't really another reason to buy one. This Mark 7 model has gradually changed all that, and this updated version is smarter to look at, smarter to sit in, and smarter to operate. Flawless then? No, of course not. Choose this test car's mild hybrid engine, as you'll probably want to, and its hybrid badging will probably lead you to expect more in terms of gains in efficiency than this kind of token electrified engineering can actually deliver. Plus, for all the improvements made to this model line, it still lags behind most supermini rivals in terms of rear seat space, boot capacity and cabin quality. We'd like to see autonomous braking standardised as well. Still, if these things aren't essential to you in choosing your ideal supermini, as they may not be, you'll find that there's much to like here. In short, this is more than ever a small car that supermini buyers simply can't ignore.